What if the man who once reshaped global politics through war could now be handed the keys to rebuilding a war-torn region? The White House is reportedly backing a bold and highly contentious proposal to place former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair at the helm of a new transitional authority for Gaza. This initiative, still in its early stages, would see Blair leading a body called the Gaza International Transitional Authority, Gita, for up to 5 years, operating independently of the Palestinian Authority, PA, initially. But here's where it gets controversial. Blair, a polarizing figure in the Middle East, is being thrust into a role that could redefine the future of Palestinian governance and ignite fresh debates over legitimacy and accountability. The plan draws inspiration from past international interventions in places like Kosovo and Timor-Leste, where external bodies oversaw transitions to statehood. Under this blueprint, Gita would first establish its base in El Arish, Egypt, before deploying a UN-sanctioned multinational force, largely composed of Arab nations, into Gaza. The ultimate goal? To eventually unify all Palestinian territories under the PA's control. Yet, unlike previous U.S. proposals, such as the now infamous Gaza Riviera Plan, accused of enabling ethnic cleansing, this framework explicitly states that Palestinians will not be forced to leave their homes. A key detail, given the trauma of displacement that has marked decades of conflict. Blair's potential role is anything but uncontroversial. While he enjoys diplomatic ties with Gulf leaders and has served as a Middle East envoy since 2007, many Palestinians view him as a symbol of Western interference. His legacy in Iraq, where he supported the 2003 invasion, has left a bitter taste across the region. Critics argue that placing Blair in charge risks legitimizing a structure that could feel more like a foreign occupation than a genuine step toward self-determination. And this is the part most people miss. The absence of a clear timeline for PA oversight under the White House plan could alienate Arab leaders who demand concrete steps toward statehood. Yet for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the lack of specificity and Blair's involvement might actually serve as a strategic buffer. The proposal faces stiff competition from the UN-backed New York Declaration, which envisions a technocratic administration for Gaza, lasting just 1 year before handing power back to a reformed PA. With over 140 nations endorsing this alternative, the White House's plan risks appearing half-baked by comparison. French President Emmanuel Macron has even positioned himself as a mediator between the two visions, highlighting the growing fracture in international consensus. Meanwhile, Arab states have made it clear, any peacekeeping force must come with an irreversible path to Palestinian statehood. Skeptics argue that Gita's structure, a mix of international figures, UN representatives, and qualified Palestinian representatives, might simply delay, rather than accelerate that goal. Let's break down the specifics. Gita's 7-member board would include Muslim representatives, senior UN officials, and leaders with financial or executive experience. Reporting to them would be a secretariat of up to 25 people, and 5 commissioners overseeing critical areas like humanitarian aid, security, and legal affairs. Notably, the humanitarian commissioner would work closely with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a body widely criticized by Arab nations and aid agencies for alleged corruption. This inclusion alone could spark outrage among those demanding transparency. A separate Palestinian Executive Authority, PEA, would handle day-to-day governance, delivering services through a nonpartisan bureaucracy. Led by a CEO appointed by Gita, the PEA would manage ministries like health, education, and infrastructure. Local municipalities, a civil police force, and a judicial board chaired by an Arab jurist would further decentralize power. But the most intriguing detail, a property rights preservation unit designed to prevent forced displacement during reconstruction, a direct response to fears of another Gaza exodus. President Mahmoud Abbas, speaking via video link after the U.S. denied him a visa to attend the UN General Assembly, emphasized that Hamas would play no role in post-war governance, a condition Israel and the U.S. have long demanded. Yet Abbas's authority is limited to the West Bank, leaving him sidelined from Gaza-specific negotiations. Trump, meanwhile, doubled down on his opposition to Israeli annexation of the West Bank, declaring, "I will not allow it. Nope, it's not going to happen." So where does this leave us? Is this a pragmatic compromise between Trump's hardline vision and the UN's idealism, or a Trojan horse for Western dominance under a new guise? The stakes are enormous, and the world is watching. What do you think? Can Blair's leadership bridge the gap, or will it deepen divisions? Share your thoughts below.